Hi, I'm Miss Galata, and welcome back to Library Lessons. Today we're talking about Author of the Month! Woo! And in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be talking about an Irish author. His name is, drumroll, Oliver Jeffers. You may know him as the author of Stuck, Lost and Found, A Child of Books, The Great Paper Caper, and the illustrator of The Day the Crayons Came Home, The Day the Crayons Quit, The Boy Who Swam with Piranhas, and many more. Oliver was born in Australia in 1977, making him about 44 years old. And then he moved to Northern Ireland when he was very young. Did you know that there's a difference between Ireland and Northern Ireland? Northern Ireland is a part of the United Kingdom, which includes this area and other countries like England, Scotland, and Wales. Ireland, also known as the Republic of Ireland, is its own country and runs under its own laws. Now let's talk about Oliver's style. In fact, why don't we have him talk about it?
One of the questions I always get asked is whether I can actually draw feet and legs, because none of my books, none of the characters ever really do have them. The answer is yes, sometimes, but it's become kind of a thing. It's become sort of my style to have all these characters and creatures look like the type of animal or person they're supposed to, and also have two pencil lines for legs. And sometimes that happens very naturally, and sometimes it's actually quite tricky to make an animal look like the animal it's supposed to look like while having stick legs. And one example of that was the rhinoceros in this book, who it took me several goes to get it right, but it worked in the end.
A lot of people have their own style when it comes to, well, everything. We write in different ways, we draw in different ways, we tell stories in different ways, and a lot of these styles come from the influence of others. Definition time. Let's go over influence. Influence. To affect or change someone or something in an indirect but usually important way. Repeat it with me. To affect or change someone or something in an indirect but usually important way. Oliver Jeffers says that other authors and illustrators influence his style, but in the end he found one that was special to him. Everyone says, I can't even draw a straight line, but no one can. It's anatomically impossible. But how your line wobbles when you try, that's your personal style. Lean into the wobbles. Let's try that. Grab a piece of paper or a whiteboard and something to write with. Now, draw a line. Not a straight line, just a line. I'll draw one too. Now, compare it to the person next to you or to mine. See the difference? Each one of us has our own unique style of drawing a line. It's cool to be different, especially if it means that you get a really cool style of drawing out of it, right? Oliver's story ideas come to him anytime, anywhere. He got the idea for the Hueys in a restaurant, the idea for the incredible book-eating boy while waiting for an airplane, and the idea for Lost and Found from a story in Belfast where a student on a field trip to the zoo stole a penguin and brought it home. He kept track of all of these ideas in a notebook and a sketchbook. I know that I like to keep track of story ideas or lines in a notebook. Do you keep track of ideas or doodles like this? I recommend carrying around maybe a little notebook, that way if any ideas strike or you want to draw at any time, you can. Now, some fun facts about Oliver. He currently lives in Brooklyn, New York. He has worked on 30 different books as either the author and illustrator or just the illustrator. He has won 29 different awards from 2005 to 2020, including many Book of the Year awards, Best Graphics, and Best Illustrated Book. Now let's watch a video on how Oliver draws one of his animals. If you have time after this, you could click the link below and watch the whole video where he shows 3 different animals.
The last animal that we are going to draw lives its entire time under the water. People say it's one of the smartest animals that there are, and it is an octopus. And I'm drawing an octopus, and here we are, Notes for Living on Planet Earth, in the underwater scene, which is here. Octopi, the plural of octopus, are a lot of fun to draw. we will start by drawing a bit of a blob, but we're not going to finish off the bottom. We're going to draw it at an angle because this octopus is going to be swimming at speed. And now I'm going to switch to a marker to draw its tentacles. See if we can count these correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to draw the other ones that you can see through those tentacles. So draw there, one there, one there. And I hope that that is enough tentacles. I'll point out the ones that are looking through his legs because you'll see the suckers on the other side of them. This is probably the point where somebody counts these and tells me I've drawn too many. I haven't counted yet because I'm too busy drawing circles. I'm certainly not going to count those. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes! Okay. Now we're going to draw his eyes. And a little line underneath like that. He's happy. And let's see, he's about to come up over the surface of the water, so we'll draw that there. And if you were to see this octopus out in the ocean, you might actually see an owl sitting on top, like the way they appear in Once Upon an Alphabet. And that is our octopus and an owl.
I think Oliver's style of illustration makes for some very cute animals, don't you? Next up, an activity of spot the difference based on his book, Stuck. You can pause and play now by yourself or with your class. Did you find all the missing characters? Great! I will link more free activities down in the description, as well as where to find more information about Oliver Jeffers. Thanks for joining me in learning about our Author of the Month! I'm Miss Galata, and I'll see you next time on Library Lessons.